Lions kill around 200 people a year. That's more than sharks.
With one jump, I knew this thing was going to kill me.
They don't just hunt, they plan. They'll even drag you into a hidden kill cluster, where more lions are waiting. Today we're breaking down 5 of the deadliest lion attacks, and why the victims never saw it coming. Are lions smart enough to break into your car during a safari?
We are learning more about the Westchester native who was killed this week in a lion attack.
Pulled from a vehicle despite warnings to keep windows closed.
How did a pride of lions get their revenge on a group of poachers?
Only the man's head was left next to a rifle.
And what legendary pair of lions are believed to have killed over 100 people?
The lion pair was said to have killed 135 people. Holy.
The odds of escaping a lion attack are slim, but we'll tell you what you need to know to survive one. How fast can a lion kill you? Try 5 seconds. They can hit 50 miles per hour and take down almost any prey, including crocodiles. When it's time to eat, they can inhale 80 pounds of meat in one sitting, and their roar, it carries 5 miles. There's a reason why they're called the king of the jungle. However, being top of the food chain comes at a cost. When Cecil, a 13-year-old African lion, was killed for sport by a Minnesota dentist, the internet exploded. Lions are classified as vulnerable, and some African populations are critically endangered. But trophy hunters and poachers are still out there, killing lions for bragging rights or jewelry made from their teeth and bones. In rare cases, lions get their revenge. Most attacks happen when people invade their space or provoke them. But some lions develop a taste for human flesh, like the man-eaters of Njombe in Tanzania and Tsavo, Kenya.
Where do you think you're going? I'm gonna sort it out.
We'll get to them later. First, a victim who did everything right, except roll up her window. So after researching some of the most terrifying lion attacks in history, I needed a break. I've been playing this amazing free mobile game called Beastlord: The New Land, and I've gotta say, I'm hooked. It's a strategy game where you become the ruler of your own animal kingdom. You build your territory, evolve your beasts, and battle to survive in a world full of predators and natural threats. With more than 500 animals to play with, including fearsome lions, this game is like a living animal encyclopedia where you truly get to feel like the king of the jungle. And the best part? You can lead your own wildlife alliance or even join others online. Everything from tigers, crocodiles, rhinos, even giant lizards. Each creature has its own traits, strengths, and evolutionary path. You get to compete with players globally as you explore and expand your territory. It's a fight for supremacy. Because we're talking about lions today, let me show you this mighty combat alpha, the leader of my small but mighty squad. Lions are great for close combat. They work well in the front or the middle, and you can upgrade their skills, like Big Bite, to make them even more beastly. There's even an ultra fierce black lion you can unlock. I would not want to run into this guy in the wild. If you're into survival, strategy, and nature with teeth, check out Beastlord: The New Land. Download the game for free by scanning our QR code or using the link in the description, and use my exclusive code BL777 to jumpstart your beastly empire. Speaking of beasts, let's sink our claws back into some lion attacks.
When do we start?
We just did.
Kate Chappell was 29, a rising visual effects artist who helped bring Captain America and Godzilla to life. The team she was a part of even won an Emmy for their work on Game of Thrones. When she wasn't building fantasy worlds on screen, she was fighting for real ones. In the summer of 2015, Kate was volunteering at a wildlife preserve in South Africa. Her mission? Help save endangered animals from poachers. On her day off, she took a detour, a visit to a safari park just outside of Johannesburg. The Lion and Safari Park is one of South Africa's top tourist spots. Visitors drive through lion enclosures and even hand-feed giraffes. But rules like keep your windows up,
That's a good view there, huh?
that can be the difference between a selfie and a funeral.
For the internationals, they do sometimes come here with the idea that it's a bit of a Disney World thing where these are tame lions. I think it does need to be stressed that these are still wild animals.
During her visit, Kate was riding as a passenger, taking in the view as a pride of lions roamed nearby. Her guide, Pierre Poacher, was behind the wheel.
Our animals aren't in a zoo. They're not in cages. We in their environment.
Kate rolled down her window to grab the perfect safari shot. She didn't know it might be the last photo she'd ever take. From the car behind them, park visitor Ben Govinder snapped a photo of a lioness rearing up, paws against Kate's door as nearby cars honked to warn them something was wrong. Kate may not have seen the lioness coming. It approached from the side. But if you're wondering what that kind of behavior means, Kevin Richardson, better known as the Lion Whisperer, has a pretty good idea.
I understand that these lions in parks like this have lost their natural fear of people. These lions grow up being petted by people, and then they see vehicles, and these vehicles become a point of obsession to mitigate boredom.
An adult lioness bites down with 650 pounds of pressure per square inch. To put that in perspective, that's like 4 refrigerators crushing the same spot on your body. Unfortunately for Kate, this lioness, she lunged forward and clamped onto her shoulder. Blood dripped from her mouth as she stared at the car with Kate's windows still wide open.
Catherine Chappelle was taking photos and apparently ignored the warning signs to keep windows closed at all times.
As Poacher watched in horror, he threw himself across the car and tried to punch the lioness off her. But with a 300-pound predator inside the car, the tour guide didn't have many options.
The general advice seems to be to stand your ground. People do fight off big cats successfully, but generally speaking, you're going to need more than just your fists and hands.
Eventually, the lioness retreated. Poacher had injured his arm trying to save Kate, but she was losing blood fast. Bleeding heavily from her neck, Poacher did what he could, applying pressure to the wound. But by the time the ambulance arrived, it was too late. It didn't take long for the news to travel back home.
We are learning more about the Westchester native who was killed this week in a lion attack.
I heard about this from a good friend from Tampa, of all places, who emailed me early this morning and saying, gee, someone from your town was just yanked from, the planet. It's just awful.
Kate's death put the park under the spotlight. Turns out it wasn't the first time someone rolled down a window at the worst possible moment. Just 2 months earlier, an Australian tourist named Brendan Smith was mauled by a lion. He survived and later admitted he never should have rolled the window down.
This kind of thing could be avoided, and it doesn't matter whether they were hand-raised lions or lions raised in captivity. They can be extremely dangerous, and people need to respect that.
As Kate's guide, Poacher also faced criticism. Some witnesses said all the windows were down. He claimed Kate opened hers at the last moment, and he tried to fight the lioness off. The stress of the attack even gave him a heart attack. It goes without saying, if you're on a safari or even just visiting a zoo, those rules about keeping your windows up, they're there to keep you alive. As for the lioness that attacked Kate, she wasn't euthanized, but was relocated to a remote part of the park, well away from tourists. Speaking of ignoring the rules, our next story takes us to the Rhino and Lion Nature Reserve, where one teenager made a split-second decision he'd never forget. Love survival stories with teeth? Hit that like button and subscribe. There's plenty more where that came from. Dane Kaiser was 16, a high school rugby player from Pretoria, South Africa. Strong, confident, and no stranger to lions. In Pretoria, lions aren't just something you see in books. There are at least 5 lion parks and reserves within a short drive of the city. On this day, Dane was at the Rhino and Lion Nature Reserve with his mom and his girlfriend. They weren't just tourists. His mom was dating the center's curator, and Dane had spent time behind the scenes with the animals. The reserve sits near the South African city of Krugersdorp and is home to some of the world's rarest big cats, including the legendary white lion. Their pale coat comes from a unique recessive gene, and there are only about 15 of them left in the wild. To impress his girlfriend, Dane led her to the white lion enclosure, which was off limits to the public. He leaned in, reached through the fence, and stroked a lioness's ear. Big mistake, especially before feeding time.
He screamed, "Help me, Mom." And then he went very quiet.
The lioness clamped down on Dane's foot and didn't let go. Then, she latched onto his arm. In just seconds, he was yanked under the fence like a chew toy.
I knew this thing was going to kill me.
In that sort of environment, really, you are very much prey if you end up on the wrong side of a big predator like an African lion.
Dane was now completely trapped inside the enclosure, and 3 of the 5 lions had a hold on him. Their combined weight, more than 1,300 pounds of pure muscle, teeth, and instinct. There was no outrunning this.
I cannot tell you how frustrating and how pathetic and small I felt standing on that side. That you cannot help him. And he's laying there, and there's 3 huge lions on top of your child.
The lions hadn't eaten yet, making them even more aggressive. But their sharp teeth weren't the only concern for Dane.
A lion's claw and the sort of tissue damage that you can get even from a playful swipe, life-changingly devastating.
As Dane fought to get free, the 3 lions were shredding him relentlessly. He had gashes everywhere and was losing blood.
I don't know if it's because of the shock or adrenaline. I couldn't see any color at all. It was all black and white.
Then, something changed. One of the lions let go, and right beside him, an object caught his eye.
Somehow I got up when the exact same time when he wasn't off me. I don't know how or why, but a stick lay next to me and I picked it up. I turned my back and started moving towards the fence.
Dane raised the stick and smacked the lion. Hard. To his shock, it backed off. For now, he had space.
The lion could have taken me out anytime. With one jump, I would have been gone.
Somehow, Dane made it back to the fence. He didn't run and never turned his back. Dane's instincts in that moment were solid. If you're ever face to face with a lion, don't run. That only invites them to chase you. Back away slowly and keep your eyes on them. And if you've got something to swing, use it. That stick Dane found probably saved his life. He was rushed to the hospital with deep gashes to his calves, thighs, arms, shoulders, and chest. Doctors said he lost 3 inches of muscle from his leg, like someone had taken an ice cream scoop to it.
If you recover from it, the chances of getting infection is virtually 100%, so you've got all of that on top of it. It's a very serious thing. It's not just a sort of little scrape.
Lucky for Dane, he survived, but just barely. Later, the reserve confirmed Dane ignored safety protocols despite knowing the lions were dangerous. He went to the enclosure before feeding time and paid the price. The lions weren't put down. The park was kept under close watch and the curator was suspended during the investigation. Our next story, this time the victim wasn't a tourist or a teenager. It was a poacher, and the lions found him first. South Africa's Kruger National Park is 5 million acres of raw wilderness.
This land holds great beauty.
It's home to some of the most protected animals on Earth. But that protection comes at a price.
South Africa is to move 500 rhinos from the iconic Kruger National Park to combat an increase in poaching. As many as 408 rhinos have been killed for their horns in the Kruger National Park this year alone.
Poaching rhinos is a national crisis in South Africa and classified as a national priority crime. It's also extremely dangerous. On April 1st, 2019, 5 suspected poachers broke into the park on foot. Their target? Rhinos. Their motive? Horns, selling for nearly the same price as gold. Before they found a rhino, though, they ran into something else. An elephant. And it wasn't in the mood to share its turf. According to the poachers who escaped, one of them was trampled to death on the spot. They carried his body to the road hoping someone would find it, but it wasn't the kind of someone they were expecting. A lion pride stumbled across the free meal and didn't let it go to waste. The next morning, rangers launched a search. They didn't find a body, just a skull, pants, and abandoned poacher's gear. 4 of the survivors were later arrested for poaching and possession of illegal firearms. Park rangers called the attack tragic, but also a harsh reminder. A nearly identical incident happened just 1 year earlier.
Only the man's head was left next to a rifle. The alleged poacher was found near South Africa's Kruger National Park.
Call it the circle of life, call it karma, call it whatever you want. But some African lions got their revenge on a trio of poachers in South Africa. The 3 men snuck into a South African game reserve to illegally hunt rhinos.
Nearly 10,000 rhinos have been killed in South Africa since 2008, but conservation efforts are starting to turn things around. That's why respecting their habitat matters. Not just for them, but for your safety. Those trespass signs, they're not suggestions. Especially at night, you're a walking steak on a platter. If you think those poachers didn't stand a chance against man-eating lions, wait till you hear what 2 lions did in a construction camp in Tsavo, Kenya. Our next story, it's the jaws of lion attacks.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
A real-life horror so infamous it inspired a movie, and countless more like it. In 1898, 2 lions brought construction on the Uganda Railway to a screeching halt. Thousands of terrified workers refused to continue. Not because of a flood or a war. Just 2 lions. Over 9 months in Kenya's Tsavo region, 2 lions dragged workers from their tents and devoured them. Guards, thorn fences, and campfires couldn't stop them. At one point, nearly every campfire came with a body count.
The 2 man-eating lions attacking the camps at night were sending terror and chaos into the heart of this carefully orchestrated engineering operation.
The railroad project was collapsing. The death toll, astronomical.
The lion pair was said to have killed 135 people. Holy.
That's when Lieutenant Colonel John Henry Patterson took matters into his own hands. Several of his men had died trying to stop the lions, but after weeks of failed traps and near-death ambushes, Patterson finally killed them both. So why did these lions hunt humans? Some blame a viral outbreak that wiped out their usual food supply. Others point to a bad tooth, making it hard for it to hunt, so we turned to easier prey. Another theory? Tsavo lions scavenged human corpses for years, developing a taste that stuck. And Tsavo wasn't the only place this happened. Lions have stalked and eaten humans elsewhere, including in Njombe, Tanzania, where one pride reportedly killed over 1,500 people. And according to ecologist Adam Hart, there's even evidence lions set their sights on drunk men.
Yes, so this was some stories from Tanzania where lions very much targeting drunk men coming back from drinking taverns and so on, walking through the bush, emitting a very distinctive smell, very predictable pattern of behavior. Similarly, people going out to use the toilets.
Scientists have studied Tsavo lion skulls, teeth, and even the hair trapped in their broken canines. The results? They ate zebra, wildebeest, giraffe, and humans. Lots of humans. The Tsavo lions are behind one of the most terrifying predator stories ever. 2 lions, dozens dead, nothing like it has happened since. Lion attacks don't just happen deep in the wild. In this episode alone, 3 people were mauled in parks, reserves, and controlled habitats. Why? Because they broke simple rules, or got too comfortable. From safari windows to zoo exhibits, being careless can turn a safe space into a kill zone. And if you ever find yourself walking through remote lion country, you want more than your favorite sunglasses and a selfie stick. If you're into apex predators with scales instead of fur, check out the deadliest reptiles on Earth. From black mambas to Komodo dragons, we're ranking the most lethal reptiles alive, bite for bite. We'll see you next time on another episode of How to Survive.